Welcome to The Secret Place with Bennett, devotions for hungry hearts and searching souls.
Hello there, everyone. This is Steffa in The Secret Place. I'm glad you're back. I'm here with you today to read a little portion of Henry Nouwen in a little book called In the Name of Jesus. Now, I scribbled down the passage here in my journal, but it's right out of his book on page 29 and 30 if you have In the Name of Jesus. Nouwen says this: I am convinced that the Christian leader of the future is called to be completely irrelevant and to stand in this world with nothing to offer but his or her own vulnerable self. That is the way Jesus came to reveal God's love. I'm going to say that again because I don't know how it hit your ears, but I know how it hit mine. Nouwen says, I am convinced that the Christian leader of the future is called to be completely irrelevant and to stand in this world with nothing to offer but his or her own vulnerable self. That is the way Jesus came to reveal God's love. When we think about Jesus, his arms stretched out on a cross, could you be weaker? Could you be more vulnerable? With your clothes torn off? Just about naked? So vulnerable, so weak. And yet he showed us through that divine act, that godly act, that there's something to be said for weakness. I'm not going to be sitting here in this 10 minutes today advocating for weakness. That would be ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. Because there's enough weakness in each of us that we don't have to go trying to manufacture it or trying to find it. By the way, if you think you have no weakness, and you think that you're so confident that you have just all successes and even your failures are a success, and you don't know what Nouwen's even talking about with weakness, you're probably a 3 on the Enneagram. Go check that out. But really, no, we all have such weakness, and but I think that Nouwen's statement about being vulnerable and that the Christian leader of the future is going to be one who counts himself, who's really not just counts themselves as irrelevant. I'm not even sure we could do that, counting ourselves completely as irrelevant, but actually being irrelevant. In other words, the opposite of the celebrity Christian. I think at 18 and 20, I would have been super surprised to hear that, being like, no, because a celebrity who's a Christian or a Christian who's a celebrity can get a really great audience. They have a voice. They can reach people. I had every reason in the world why that would be cool. But, so many decades later now, look around at the harm that has been done in the name of Jesus by celebrities and their fans who look at Christianity or exhibit Christianity, exhibit the life of the believer as one that has to be full of prosperity and full of fame and full of recognition. Any of the celebrities I've talked to, and I've spent a lot of time talking to celebrities in my 20s and 30s when I was more writing rather than teaching, and interviewing and doing stories on some of them. But most of the stories we read about celebrities or hear about celebrities is the misery they experience, the misery they experience in their life with drugs or broken marriages or problems, all kinds of problems, because they're people and they want a life. They don't want just to be known for the thing that they do. That doesn't satisfy, right? And so I really can grab on to what Nouwen said there about the future Christian leader will be standing in this world with nothing to offer but his or her own vulnerable self. So what does it mean to be a vulnerable self? Except that we allow that weakness that we each have to be seen instead of hiding it. What does it mean to you to be vulnerable? Perhaps if you're married, or if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend that you're very close to, you've had to step out and become vulnerable. Maybe you were the first one to say, I love you. You know, that's scary. It's like, even if you think they feel the same way and they want to make that commitment to you, it's like, oh, you know, I'm opening myself up for rejection. What if they just push back and they don't say it back, or they run away, or they reject me outright, or they laugh, right? We do. We open ourselves to weakness. That's what vulnerability is all about. And, you know, when I was reading that, I thought he's probably right. So many Christians in other countries, especially the stories I read in here, are about how vulnerable they are, how openly weak they are. No control, no ability to effectuate change for themselves, to protect their family or their loved ones. And we hate that. We don't want that for them. You know, we don't want that for ourselves, right? But when weakness does come, or when weakness does show itself in our own life, in our own behavior, in our own thoughts, in our own loss, our own grief, our own mistakes, our own sins, it's important not just to own up to them, but it's important to just share them. And I'm not saying indiscriminately, just let's go share all of our weaknesses. You know, let's just tell the world, hey, you know, I was this or that, or I'm stuck in this kind of a problem, or I take drugs, or, you know, no. I mean, of course not. Of course not. But there's got to be a couple people. There's got to be a few people that you can say, hey, I'm really hurting now. I'm really feeling weak. I'm feeling really weak and I need help. I've been there. I'm there now, actually. I'm there now, and I'm very thankful that I've got some people in my life who know that. Who know that when they look at me, they see pain, and they see the things I'm struggling with, the loss that I'm struggling with. Because even though they can't do anything about it, they sit with me in that weakness, and they still love me. And they don't expect me to be strong at every moment. You know, I even experienced that in a smaller way with my precious students about a month ago. I usually have everything well organized and just, you know, down pat and as perfect as it can be for my students, so that they know what they're doing and they know the due dates and they have all the information and they're all prepared, right? And I totally messed up with something about a month ago on an assignment. I was giving them an assignment and they're all writing it down, right? And then someone looked up and they had a quizzical look on their face. And I looked at her and I heard myself speaking about that assignment, and I said, oh my gosh, you guys, erase that. I'm sorry. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's for the afternoon class. That's not for you. I'm so sorry. So for a minute or 30 seconds, these 4 students were dealing with, oh my gosh, I have a new assignment. I didn't know I had that paper. Those poor kids. But I had to, what could I say? I'm just sorry. It's not a new assignment. You don't have it. I just made a mistake, and I'm glad we caught it now, you know, but I'm sorry. And you know, afterwards, all of them were like, it's no problem, no problem. Afterwards, a couple of them came up to me and just said, love you, Dr. B. You're okay. You know, like, they saw that weakness in me. It was a small thing. I'm not trying to say that was a huge thing, but I mean, they saw that I haven't been at the very top of my game the last couple months, with my son passing. And I didn't have to say anything to them, but they've just kind of in a very sweet, subtle way rallied around me. I think I don't know, like if I tried to, if we try to hide those mistakes sometimes, and pretend it didn't happen or cover it somehow, you know what? We also miss out on the blessing of the love that comes when people see your weakness and say you're okay. Is it true that people always give you love when they see your weakness? Oh no. Sometimes people come in for the kill, right? People come in and they really want to hurt you. They see you hurting. It's called what is it, like kicking a dog when it's down, right? But don't worry about that. Just let's work on being vulnerable and letting God use us that way to love others from a place not always of immense strength, but sometimes from a place of weakness where His strength can come through. Now you go off and have a great week, and I'll talk to you real soon. God bless you all. Bye now. This is Steffa.
Breathe, listen, and receive. Take a moment to soak it all in. Until next time.